Hi guys, how you doing? Senior Gaming here and I'm bringing you Marriage Girls with a progress review. So if you're a Marriage Girls player or perhaps idle gamer, then make sure you subscribe to the channel as I post as often as possible and bring you best tips and advice. And if you enjoy what you see, then hit that like button as well. Right then guys, so we got another title under a microscope when it comes to a progress review. So I have managed now to squeeze a level 315 in Marriage Girls and I'm pretty happy with the results. And obviously we're gonna go through a major aspects of the game. So the first things first, I'm currently farming on episode 36, stage 160. Bear in mind there is a 55 episodes in total currently. So the farming strategy is based on 6 characters I'm gonna mention in just a second, and as you see, clearing time is between 9 and 11 seconds, plus hot time. We got a pretty good farming output ratio. So I'm using currently Hannah, Captain J, Priscilla, that's the 3 damage dealers, with Haida, Amethyst and Lilith as a boosters when it comes to this damage output itself. So as mentioned in the previous videos, you do not need a tank when it comes to a farming strategy, so you always want to go as glass cannon as possible, deal as much damage. Right, so we're gonna kick off with characters so you can review where currently I sit. So Hannah for a while was pretty much one of the highest levels. I have managed now to catch up, and the reason I'm also been catching up, it was just to have a little bit more diversify characters and divide them with a different teams, and this has actually landed very well with a brand new addition of that special arena, and that special arena now requires a 20, if possible, the strongest characters, so you can compete in that very option. This is obviously a brand new addition. I'll definitely release video based and talked about a special arena, but that pretty much now falls into a category you need a 20 strong characters. Obviously you can still use a soul link. I definitely encourage you to do so. You won't be able to pretty much keep up and upgrading 20 characters with a gold outright. When it comes to my character selection, as you see, Hannah currently on 709B. Captain J is not a desired character but does pretty well. Priscilla is currently my higher damage dealer output. Hannah used to be, I have pretty much removed the gear, so we can completely discard this character for a time being, but I got to admit she was actually pretty useful because I managed to land her as one of the first characters on 10 stars, and she was also a great damage dealer. Haida as a support, you always want to go for this character. Aisha is a #1 tank, so this is a no-brainer to go with her. Alice is something that we actually witnessed together with a last farming videos. I still need to pretty much gear up a little bit more on Alice and upgrade her, and as you see, this is now 500. It's a bit far off from Priscilla and Hannah, but I know with a little bit more of work I'll be able to boost that damage shortly. So Amethyst, another support. Isis is something as well you want to look into, so I just need her on another star, and this is a great PvP character as well, or arena. The special one you're now talking about, this is obviously a great stun character. Null is a no-brainer when it comes to your secondary tank, but actually primary when it comes to this Tower of Ascension where I currently have stuck. This is a tank to go to, so I know I need to heavily now invest in Noel in order to progress with next levels. And then obviously Veronica will be your another tank. You know, if we're now talking 5 different teams in a special arena, it's something you might be looking into. And I got still a few more characters here. Maylin, as you see, it's also soul linked, is one of the characters you might be want to upgrade in. Obviously, again, this will be based on how lucky you're gonna get with the coins. Because I got Maylin on 8 stars, I had to park her and put her only into soul link because I got more lucky with the other characters. Rebecca is another one you definitely want to look into, as you see currently on 9 stars for me. And then I got a few more characters I need to pay attention to. So Emerald is a great support, it's a SR character, but it's a mana drain, so it will be good for tower, good for PvP. Ellie is a no-brainer, great support overall to give you a mana recharge. Edelweiss, it will be a great for debuff, again PvP, etc. and a Lilith, as you see, it's currently in a lineup to boost that overall damage output. Blair was one of the characters I mentioned earlier. It can be a cheap replacement for your farming strategy. So there is obviously much more characters, but that's the sort of ones I'm focusing on. As you see, there is still plenty to do in order to get them to a max level. So from here, I believe we're gonna skip Soulstone, we're gonna jump into Kingdom itself, and I think I'm gonna just review Lab very quickly. So the production research should be definitely something you wanna look in first. This is how quickly you're gonna generate Soulstones. Obviously max it out at all costs as soon as possible. And then combat research, I definitely recommend going for a critical rate, critical damage, add attack speed, get that all maxed out, and then you go for one of these desired damage and HP boosts. As you see, Shooter is going to be one of the majority of the characters I do have, so managed to squeeze it to level 200. Attacker is currently on 173, and I pretty much now try to a little bit boost anything related to defense, and this is where I need to boost these stats to progress with that tower I mentioned as a stack with a main quest. When it comes to war, there is few areas I want to address. So the world raid is definitely something standing out for me. Therefore, a progress review video today, because I believe I will be playing the game for a little bit longer and perhaps I might park it up. So actually, we always had a world boss reward when all players across the server has actually contributed into damage deal. But I have noticed as well for a while now that we are not reaching the top rewards, which indicates that a player base is getting reduced. Therefore, I know there is less and less players playing. I wouldn't say that not having 250 diamonds will influence my decision, but I have actually covered pretty much everything related to this game content, so I'll be perhaps moving on with next titles in a nearest future, but that pretty much shows that we've got less and less players with this very game. And then obviously everything else will be your dailies. With now Arena, Special Arena, it's something I mentioned earlier. I'll definitely release a separate video. I just need a few more days to test it out, and this is obviously a brand new addition. We didn't have that few days ago. Weapon itself, so obviously again when it comes to weapon management, most of the characters I have mentioned and currently using, I've got them obviously on this top weapon strategy, the 5th tier. I've got some of them on level 60 already, as you have seen. Not all of the characters, as you see, I'm still using, like Ellie, Edel, still not managed to get that a tier 5, but still continue to do so. But I think pretty good results when it comes to a weapon, considering I haven't really been spending diamonds, aka gems itself, to get more weapons. So this was our organic farm, I would call it like that, so I'm pretty happy with the results in here. Alright then, so this is where we are currently, guys, level 315 once again, obviously limited to where we can go now with a quest itself. So the next on the agenda is obviously to boost out a little bit of gear, pretty much looking what we can have on a chance up. So it means Noel, if lands here, we need to upgrade this very tank, maybe other characters which can provide us stun or debuffs to keep progressing with this main quest. But that's pretty much how the gameplay will look like at these late stages. Thank you very much guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.